Seconds. 1 second.
All right. There we go. We are here. Hello, everybody. I am Nick Alfieri, a.k.a. Nalf, and welcome to the first ever ELF live show. I'm here with my co-host, Silas Nacita. What's up, Silas?
You were born for this, Nalf. You really were born for this. You have such a radio voice. Not a radio face. Yeah. You do. You do have a face for radio, but you have a great voice.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. So are you, and so do you. So we've got some exciting stuff here for everybody for the first ever ELF live show. You guys can join us here in the chat. I'm coming to you from the west coast of the United States right now, Portland, Oregon. Silas, where are you?
I'm in Dallas, Texas. I was actually at Cowboys. I was at the Star yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, walking through the facility, doing a video shoot in the Star. Did not run into Dak Prescott, but I did see their training facility and their cafeteria. It is pretty insane.
They had the coolest video with the FPV drone going through their facility a few months ago, or maybe a year ago. It's insane. Awesome. So look at that. Look, the ELF is totally global. We're coming to you from all over the world. And welcome to everybody who's joining us from all over the world. And we've got some fun topics to talk to you guys about today. So, Silas, what do we have coming today for the lovely viewers of our show?
I mean, we have a whole list. I have it all over here because I don't have it memorized. One thing I do like, though, is that comment that says nice video and voice quality. Doing a good job for your first time. This is our first time. And so we are going to probably have a lot of hiccups along the way. But what I love about the ELF is that it is the best. It's the best. What's the word? It's the best that Europe has done for football, for American football, since NFL Europe. And this is just yet another example of the people over there in the league trying to grow our sport out there. And like everything that you start, there's going to be some hiccups. So I'm imagining there will be some difficulties along the way. So those watching, thanks for being here. And just bear with us if Nalf just makes a fool of himself.
Exactly. So when I mess up and make a fool of myself live here on the show, bear with us. But we appreciate you guys joining us for the first ever show, and being a part of this is super exciting. So we've got some topics for you guys today, some news, and I think we are going to start off with talking about the conferences for the 2024 ELF season. So let's take a look here at our beautiful graphic that we've got from our producer, Maxie. Look at that. So we've got Central, Eastern, Western conferences. I'd say the big addition this year is the Madrid Bravos, who are going to be competing in the Western Conference. Silas, you played against a couple of those juggernauts in the West. What do you think? What do you think the Madrid Bravos have in store for them in their first season?
Yeah, the Madrid Bravos, they're going to have the work cut out for them for sure. In fact, I got a message from the Madrid Bravos trying to coax me out of retirement this week. And looking at their schedule, I'm good. Y'all, I think y'all got it. You'll be all right.
No, you don't want to go. You don't want to go play the Rhine Fire again?
Oh man. No, I've had all that I need with the Rhine Fire, but Paris Musketeers are going to build off of last year, and I think they're going to be a lot better this year. I mean, when you start a brand new team, it's so hard, and Paris has so much talent that if they just have a little bit more time under their belt, they're going to be tough. That's a tough conference right there.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the owners of Paris, and Paris is one of the most interesting franchises to me. Like, obviously, they came out of the gate last year, and they had a crazy difficult schedule, playing the Surge, playing the Rhine Fire, and I think playing Frankfurt. But they really settled into themselves as a team. And as the season went on, they really established themselves as a team that I think is going to be pretty exciting coming up next year. And they've got a great coach, Mark Mattioli. I got to get coached by him a little bit with the Italian national team, and he's got great energy, young guy. And so, yeah, I think Paris is going to be kind of a scary team. Of course, you got the Rhine Fire there, Hamburg, Frankfurt, Cologne. And so we'll see how the Madrid Bravos do in their first season in the ELF. Then we've got the lovely... Madrid. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure Madrid is picking up some pretty solid guys, and we'll talk about that more in the signings later. But yeah, go ahead with the Central Conference,
of which you are an alumnus now, a former participant in the Central Conference of the ELF with the Helvetic Guards. Now you've entered the lovely world of retirement with me. What are your thoughts about the Central Conference this year, and who do you like?
Well, I mean, obviously you got the returning finalists, the Surge. They're going to be tough. The Raiders have historically been good just in every season, outside of the ELF as well. The Ravens really impressed me last year. The Guards, Seamen, and Dragons, they had a really tough first year, as with anybody who just shows up and competes in a brand new league. I think that it's going to be an uphill battle for those three teams as well. Even with the Ravens getting a new head coach, I would say that it's not the strongest conference, and as far as if you look at everyone's record by the end of the year, but I think it might be the most competitive, meaning that as far as the level of play, it matches pretty well, which is why it seemed like every game was such a fight last year for us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, yeah, super competitive. And while we're on these, let's actually go to the map so we can get a little physical representation here. Look at that geography. These conferences, they just make sense geographically, guys. I saw some people confused as to why the Madrid Bravos are in the West. Well, that's because they are literally the westernmost team. So it's called geography. And there we have it. So we've also got the Eastern Conference. It's going to be the one and only 5-team conference this year. The Vienna Vikings won that conference last year, and they're looking to do it again. Silas, did you have any experience playing on any of the Eastern teams last year?
No, we did not. We didn't go over there. We don't. The Swiss don't really like those Eastern European people, so I guess we just didn't want to go see.
They just stayed in Central.
I'm gonna start just bringing in some fire immediately and say that the Eastern Conference is the weakest of all the conferences. I'm just gonna make enemies from day one on this show.
I like that. I like that, Silas. Let's create a little controversy, and I don't think that is I wouldn't say that's a ridiculous opinion. A couple of these teams didn't have the best showing, although they are, new teams. That's tough. But they're kind of heavy at the top. Vikings are pretty legit. The Panthers are signing people like crazy. It's looking like they're putting together a really good roster. And then Berlin, we'll see how they sort of shape up. But yeah, those are the conferences that we've got coming into the 2024 season. And we've actually had a little bit of stadium news as well with some of these teams, particularly the Cologne Centurions have some exciting news. They're going to be playing 2 home games in the Tivoli Stadion. How was that pronunciation, Silas? Stadion.
That's good. That's pretty good, right? That passes.
Yeah, I lived in Germany for a long time, so I passed there. It's got a capacity of 32,000 people, and I think when teams do this, like we saw last year with Hamburg doing that with the game against the Rhine Fire, that's just a great moment for the league, and hopefully these games that Cologne plays in these stadiums will draw a big crowd. Hopefully they're against competitive teams, and could be really good moments for Cologne, kind of an organization that's, I don't know, I feel like they're trying to get their footing a little bit. Wasn't great for them last year. Then,
I mean, here's my real quick thought.
Give me your thought.
If you can fill up that stadium, then it's awesome. Getting a bigger stadium that you can't fill up is not the move. So I think, I mean, I'm all for it. Let's just if we can really fire up those Germans to fill up that stadium, then totally good idea. Like, for example, with the guards, we only had a stadium capacity of, like, I want to say 4 to 6,000, but
Yeah.
we filled it up, and it was an awesome environment. Now, if we played in a stadium of 20,000, it would be a terrible environment. So
Yeah.
that's my thought on that. But either way, I love it.
Yep, that's that's the downside sometimes. But Cologne, that's in a good area where there's a lot of people. That area of Germany, I think that's like the most populated area of Europe, with like the Cologne, Dusseldorf region up there. A lot of people, so maybe they can pull and get a good crowd there. Then we've got, of course, our producer Maxie's hometown team. The Hamburg Sea Devils will be playing another game at the Volksparkstadion in 2024. Last year they did that. They set the record for the largest ELF game ever. I think it was 32,500 people were at that game. And, there's an example of, doing it right. They had the big stadium and they filled it up. So Hamburg's going to be doing that again. Last year they played against the Rhine Fire. It was a good game. Fire, I think they ended up winning by 5 points or so, but you talk to people who were at that game and that was an awesome environment. So that's what we've got in the stadium news. Pretty exciting. And then we've got the coaching carousel, the drama going on with the coaches in the ELF. A lot of drama, a lot of interesting things going on. So let's just run through kind of the swaps that have gone on so far. Big one is the Innsbruck Raiders. They have got a new head coach, Jim Herman. He is a guy that's got, I think he's got a bit of NFL experience, big time D1 experience. Then we've got Matt Johnson replacing Yogi Jones for Hamburg. We've got Jim Ward replacing Stefan Pokorny for the Milano Seamen. Joe Ashfield will be coaching the Enthroners. Greg Brandon will be coaching the Centurions, and they'll have a couple of those big games. Greg Brandon will have to fill up those stadium. Dragons have David Shelton, and the Madrid Bravos signed Rip Scher Jr. as their first ever head coach, another guy with NFL experience, big-time college football experience. So we've got that. Then you see there, we've got some consistency as well with the Stuttgart Surge. The legendary, iconic, I have no personal bias towards Jordan Newman, of course, for the Stuttgart Surge. He's staying there. And then we have also got a big coaching change in Munich. Kendrell Ellison comes down from Hamburg and is going to be the head coach of the Munich Ravens this year. Pretty interesting stuff, exciting stuff. Silas, what if you had anything to ask Kendrell, what would you want to know from him?
I would want to know why they got rid of John Shoup. That's my question, because I mean, he came in there and for the most part had a great season. And that, like, if you look at all the teams that came in for the first year, they all had pretty bad losing records. The Ravens had a pretty solid showing, and they beat some of the best teams in the league. And so I haven't talked to a lot of people. Maybe he wanted to leave, but that would be my first question: is why'd they get rid of him, and then also why they want you? When did you get the call? What's that about?
Some good questions, and if only we could ask Coach Kendrell these questions. Luckily, our great producers of the ELF Live. Whoa, we've got Coach with us today. Look at that, the magic of the live show. What's up, Coach? How is everything going? Where are you right now?
I'm up in Hamburg actually right now. Pleasure to see y'all guys too.
Yeah, it's good to have enemy territory. Enemy territory. When do you head down to Munich? I know you've been down there a little bit, like for the tryouts and stuff.
I'm going back and forth right now. With me up here with my kids right now. I'm just hanging out, doing a lot of stuff remote. When you need me down there, I'm down there. And then in March, beginning of March, I'll be down there for good.
Fantastic. And I guess the first big question that we would probably have for you is, Why Munich? Why did you decide to make this leap? You've been in Hamburg for a while and had a lot of success as with the defense there, and now you're making the lead to head coach. Why is Munich the right place for you?
Man, really, why not Munich? It's a great area. Bavaria is flush with talent. For me, ultimately, Hamburg is home for me. Hamburg's going to always be home, make no mistake about it. But the opportunity just wasn't there, regardless of what was told. It just wasn't there. And I'd been in contact with Munich even when Shoot was there. But it just wasn't the right timing last year. And eventually the time and everything hit. I always said it would take a perfect storm to get me out of Hamburg. And obviously that storm brewed this offseason. And it's a great decision.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think you're probably one of the younger head coaches in the ELF. And so that's a pretty cool thing to achieve that at such a young age. I'm wondering, and Silas, you can ask a question after this. Sorry to ask so many questions. I'm wondering if, because the Ravens, they didn't have a terrible first season, right? With Coach Shoop, they were a pretty good team. And do you think, is it difficult to have that like kind of big shoes to fill when you're entering into a program that, of course, this is just going to be their second year, but they did have some success already? Do you feel an extra sense of pressure to build off of that expectation in your first year?
Definitely not. It's one of those things. I told the owner the first time we interviewed, he told me what the expectations are, what the goals were. And same thing I told him, hey, you can't threaten me with a good time. At the end of the day, I'll bet on myself any day of the week and twice on Sundays. And I love Shoot. I know Shoot personally. So, I know what he did down there. I know what that offense was down there. But also, I know what the defense wasn't, and I know what I bring to the table as being an ex-import, as having the experience in the ELF. So I just think with the changes that they wanted to make, plus the vision that I have, it just fit perfectly. And for me, I don't feel any. At the end of the day, if you prepare, if you do the things you need to do, that as players yourself, we want these type of opportunities. You want these opportunities. I'll much rather go into an opportunity where the expectations are super high than to go in a situation where they're saying, hey, you got 3-4 years to build it and just have some type of rebuild. So for me, it was about seeing what they did well last year, seeing what they didn't do well, and let's strengthen those weaknesses and strengthen those strengths.
Fantastic.
Coach, why do you think that Munich went in a different direction with the head coaching job?
I think, you got to think about, Sean and how he's running the program and how he has control. Sean is an ex-import also. And I think a lot of times we see a lot of American coaches come over here and they don't, there's American football and then there's European American football.
American and European, yeah.
So it's some of the best coaches are the guys who've been playing in this league or playing in Europe and understand that there's a different dynamic that you have to deal with when you're dealing with guys who's working a 9-to-5, guys who have kids, guys who may have to miss because of a wedding and just et cetera, et cetera. So when you're doing that and you're trying to build a program, it's hard to build a program and have, someone at the top that don't really understand that. And Shoop had a little taste of it from his time in Hamburg, but you know it best. We've been to practice where there's sometimes 10, 15 guys. And it's just like, hey, how can you deal with this type of situation? And if you've never been in that situation, it's a culture shock, so to say, not just from a culture in German and American, but just a football culture shock. So that's something I think the team wanted to kind of change. And I've been here. I've been in Europe since 2010. So it's definitely not a culture shock anymore. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's something we ran into a lot of with the guards. I do have one more question. I got on my Instagram and looked at our last message, or one of our last messages, and I'm gonna read it. It says, "Big man, how are you? What's your status at the moment? Would you be interested in joining the ELF for a second half of the season, Coach Ellison?" This is August 3rd, 2022. I forgot after the Austrian Bowl, when I just showed up and played, you messaged me, and Nauf doesn't even know this, but I almost went to the Hamburg Sea Devils in 2022. My question to you, Coach, is Do you think it would have changed the outcome of the final game?
Oh,
Listen, hey, that's a wound that's still right there. But shit, hey, you're a ball player, man. I think any team that gets you, is going to change some type of dynamic. Defense wasn't our problem in 2022. So obviously, if we would have had a little more juice on that side of the ball, some way, somehow, then we could have put Vienna in some problems. So shoulda, woulda, coulda, big man. But hey, it is what it is.
I know.
Hey, props to Vienna, man. There's nothing but props to Vienna. They were the better team that day. I definitely wish we could go back and play that somewhere more of a neutral site for sure, and not down in Klagenfurt. But at the end of the day, it's no excuses, man. So, but maybe if I could redo it and I had a genie or something, then we would have got Silas on board and we would have been all right.
Come on.
I
wish I could have played in a championship game in the ELF. That would be.
Oh, it was a great experience. Great experience.
Coach, you mentioned a little bit that Munich had a decent success on offense last year, not so much on defense. You are obviously known for your defensive prowess. So I'm going to just read a few stats here from your time in the ELF. 2021, you had the first ranked defense against the run. 2022, same thing. First against the run, first against the pass, first in points, and first overall. 2023 defense, again, your defense was first against the run. Can you talk a little bit about kind of your defensive philosophy? I mean, you guys have some crazy stats here. You've only allowed 13 rushing touchdowns over your 3 seasons. Talk to me a little bit about kind of your defensive philosophy and what you hope to bring to Munich.
Oh man, it is if anybody watched me as a player, it was always down here being aggressive. The one thing I learned from playing football, Pop Warner, if you can't stop the run, you can't do anything. So I always tell these guys, stop the run, have some fun. You got to be unselfish to be able to stop the run. And I guess that correlates when you're able to be number one against the run, but also number one against and having sacks. You can't play on a defense that I'm in control of or I'm over if you're not invested in stopping the run and being able to stop the run. It's very unselfish. Everybody got to be gap sound. Everybody got to have gap integrity, be where they need to be. And you can't have those me guys. It's just about, hey, simply do your job. And if you look at these 3 years, we never really had that one guy that even went over probably 90 to 100 tackles, because as an import, if I knew it, if I was making 120, 130 tackles, and that too. Now, if you're doing that, then somebody else ain't doing their job, So
Exactly.
My thing is about, hey, we want continuity across the board. Everybody's doing their job. We don't need superstars. We just need everybody fitting like a puzzle. So for me, it's just about playing fast, physical, and violent. And I think a lot of people like to get on, Instagram and YouTube and find these nice things to do in practice. At the end of the day, it's just about your fundamentals and technique. If you're not sound, if you're not doing what you need to do, then you're not going to be able to play the defense at the level you need to. So if you can teach guys how to tackle, you can teach guys how to take on blocks, you can teach guys, hey, where they fit into that puzzle, it's easy. We just tend to make it harder than it should be.
Awesome, man. And we've just got a minute here left. Last question, Coach. Can you talk a little bit about some of the signings that you're excited about for the Munich Ravens so far? Some of the guys that you're excited to get on the squad this year?
Listen, recruiting has been fun this year, man. It's been great. The first one I can just come to mind right now is definitely keeping that continuity with the team and getting Chad back. That's something. Chad and Marvin, when we talk about that offense, we really want to keep continuity there and stability there. Adding Garrett Brandt to the fold at offensive line, being able to, win the trenches. And we got more names coming on the old offensive side, defensive side. I can name all these guys because everybody that we're bringing in, all 65 guys are going to be key players. So I don't want to just single out anybody. But I think the team that you saw last year would be night and day difference from the team you're going to see this year.
Fantastic. Coach Kendall Ellison, thank you so much, man, for coming on the show, coming the first ever ELF live show with Silas and myself. It's great talking to you. Best of luck this season. I'm excited for what you guys got cooking down there.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, Silas, keep making enemies on this thing, baby. I love it.
Yeah, I will.
All right, fellas, y'all take.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Immer jemand für dich da. Die Bäckerin, die dir leckere Brötchen gibt, die Friseurin, die heiße News für dich hat, der Metzger, dem nichts wurscht ist.
Kein Internet!
Und Wir sind immer da, wenn du uns brauchst.
Ich installiere den mal schnell.
Euronics, für dein bestes Zuhause der Welt. Oide, 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 oide.
Oh, we
Yeah,
are
just
back.
the shock. The shock.
We are back after a quick word from our sponsor, Euronics. Silas, well, we talked a little bit. We started to talk a little bit with Coach about some of the signings. He mentioned Chad Jeffries. Let's get in then to our signing center segment with some key signings this year. You want to start us off with the first guy on our list that we want to talk about?
Absolutely. Number one, the defensive player of the year, Maceo Beard. My former teammate, soon to be Paris Musketeer. I saw that coming probably in the middle of the year. As soon as I would say as soon as I saw Mace just ball out, I was like, yeah, he'll probably head back to Paris just because that's where he's from. And I know, just being able to play for your home team and have that sense of pride is a big deal. And so I knew that I saw that coming. I mean, that guy's a baller. He's going to do great wherever he goes.
What do you?
But I think,
Sorry. What do you think? I mean, you were saying like what makes him so good, and what is he so good at that he gets himself in a position to have so many interceptions? I mean, he led the league 8 picks last year, 2 pick sixes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you could put your finger on?
Yeah, I mean, the guy watches tons of film. I don't know if I should reveal his secret, but I know he uses like AI.
What? AI film technique?
No, he uses I'm pretty sure, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he uses AI in order to get statistics on teams' offenses to figure out what their tendencies are in order to essentially on third down, second down, what's the highest tendency. But it doesn't matter if you don't use that technology or not. You have to know it, and that guy just studied the mess out of it. He's a great team leader in that way because he would do it, but he would also encourage other people to do that as well. So I think that's what made him great. Plus, he's a big corner, big safety.
Yeah, dude.
Long arms, just smart.
Met him at the championship game weekend, and I was shocked at how tall and long and lanky he was. Well, he is not the only defensive player of the year to re-sign. Of course, we've got Kyle Kitchens going back to Berlin. Some might say arguably the best, most successful defensive player to ever play so far in the ELF. So he's back in Berlin. Putting up just crazy numbers. The guy lives in the backfield. He had 21 TFLs, 15 sacks last year. Pretty wild. But
thankful that I never actually had to play against that guy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that'd be rough as a running back. We've also got another high profile edge rusher. Silas, you want to tell us who we got here?
Where are we at here? Oh, Alejandro? Is that what
Alejandro?
Alejandro. That guy's a good guy, man. Actually, to be honest, I thought he was going to be bigger than he was in person. When I met him in Dusseldorf, I was like, oh, he's not actually that big, which kind of points out to the fact that the guy's just an animal.
Yeah.
Because the way people were talking about him when I came to the league, I thought that guy was built like a Alabama D tackle or D end, and he's not that big, but he's young, strong. I mean, I feel like we haven't seen the best of him yet.
Dude, he's only 22.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Is that
that guy's
he's going to be
younger than us, or basically.
Yikes! Shut up, okay? Just
dude, you're 30. Accept it.
Okay,
you're
hold
30.
on. I'm gonna jump to this comment over here. I want to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, let's see what's going on in the chat.
It's not all about you, Nick. So I'm gonna. So on Andrage, he said for a new European team in the ELF, what should be the focus at the beginning? Defense first, and then develop the offense, or try first to have functional offense. I think the first and most important thing is to have good management. Understand how much money do you have? Do you have enough money to pay people? Can you get everything done on time? Is the organizational strength and culture strong? Because like if you don't have that, the team will fall apart pretty quickly. And then to answer the question of offense or defense, I mean, I'm biased. I'm always going to say get a good offense because it's more fun to watch. Because if you're going to lose anyway, you might as well score some points while you're losing.
Make it look good while you lose. There you go. And
There you
that's
go.
spoken like a true offensive player. You know,
There you go.
I'm biased here to the defensive side. Well, speaking of offense, we've got another interesting signing for the Vienna Vikings. They've got a new quarterback, Ben Holmes. I was looking at this guy's story a little bit. He was a community college standout. Then he transferred. Then he got into the USFL, an indoor football league. Like guys like this who really navigate their way through the football world and keep, just advancing and making steps to keep playing. And now he's coming out to Europe. I always am interested in guys like this who come out to Europe because it shows that they really want to play. They really love playing. And they'll go all over to keep playing. So I'm pretty intrigued and interested to see how he does with the Vienna Vikings. Obviously, Vienna, I think, a little disappointed with the semifinal loss last year to the Stuttgart Surge. So hopefully they can, this is a program that basically has championship expectations. It's like they get to the semifinals and lose. That's a disappointing season for them. So, they're expecting championships.
Right. We'll see how he does. Europe is a different beast. So I have no doubt that he'll be great on the field. It's whether or not he can still keep his mind right just being in Europe. And like you said, if he's traveled around, he'll probably be all right, but we'll see.
Yeah, but that's a good point, man. It's it's always safer when you've got, especially the quarterback position, somebody who's been out in Europe because, like, this, it's kind of a culture shock when you first come out here and play in Europe. It's different than college. It's different from any of the leagues in the States. And so that's a great point that, it is a bit safer to go with a kind of guy who's proven himself in Europe, but we'll see how he does.
Speaking of which, Chad Jeffries re-signing to Munich. That was obviously a no-brainer. The funny part about that, and Chad will love this, is like when he first went to Munich, he got like ranked as like one of the worst QBs in the league, and he ended up being the overall number 2 best rated player in the whole league. So suck it to the ratings. For my boy Chad, he was my quarterback in Austria, and great quarterback. Anyway, moving on. Same with Luke. That was the most surprising move,
dude. This one kind of blew me away.
Shook. I was like, what?
So, like, for those of you who guys know about European football, Luke Zaraka has been playing with the Milano Seamen at what seems like forever. He's like a staple.
I'm pretty sure he's like 56 years old. I'm pretty sure Luke is 56.
Guy has played there for 25 years or so. So when they announced that he was not coming back, when the Seamen announced that, I was like, oh yeah, he's retiring, of course. And then when Frankfurt announced that they were signing him, this was, I think, probably one of the most surprising signings in the ELF this year, just because it's Luke is a guy that's been at this program forever. So I'm super curious to see. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just like, hence why being a veteran of Europe is so valuable. Like you, a team like Frankfurt Galaxy had Jacob Sullivan as a quarterback who's a baller. True. And I mean, Luke is a totally different player than Jake. And it's like, they took him over some other guys. Like I thought that if they were going to take Jacob, they'd find someone who else was similar to Jacob, and Luke's not like that at all. So hence pointing to the reality that if you are a veteran of Europe, you have much better chances getting signed.
True. And look, some people right now in the chat are saying lots of pressure on him and the coaches. I mean, Frankfurt's got another program with really high expectations. And I think there is going to be a lot of pressure on Luke stepping into this role with the Frankfurt Galaxy, another team that expects to be contending for a championship. So it's going to be totally different for Luke coming from Milan, not as successful as a program in the ELF, to being expected to win a championship.
I think his biggest problem is going to be the food. Like that's a major drop in food.
But you're a
Good
guy
luck
that's
with
played in
pork and
both countries.
potatoes. Good luck with pork and potatoes, Luke. I hope you
Yeah,
like them, because if you don't, you're screwed. You're gonna be starving.
You're going from Italian food. Hey, German food, it doesn't have a great reputation, but
I like it. All right, but it's
think it's
Italy.
good.
Everyone in Europe knows that Italian food is the best. All right. So
Yeah, no,
anyway,
I'm with
moving
you.
on.
Moving
Let's
on
move on.
to Jacob Sullivan, another staple. He played for the Frankfurt Galaxy. He was a champion, the first ever ELF champion, 2021. Been kind of the face of the Frankfurt Galaxy. Another kind of surprising thing that they didn't bring him back. And I'm seeing here what we're people in the chat. Will Jacob sign for the Thunder? There's rumors of different teams that he's possibly going to end up at. Silas, what are your thoughts on Sully?
Yeah, I think Berlin. I think he goes to Berlin. I think he stays in Germany. Germany's been good to him, and I don't think he wants to stay. I don't think he'll stay in the same conference. I think he'll go to a different conference.
Somebody said Frankfurt has 5 guys. What else do you need? I'm sure is there 5 guys in Berlin? I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I've been to that 5 guys. It's fake.
Fake 5 guys.
Fünf Männer.
So, yeah, people are kind of really wondering where Jacob Sullivan's going to land. I think we're both thinking it's probably going to be up north in Berlin. See if he can bring Berlin. If he ends up there, some positive results. Berlin's been a little mediocre, I would say. Look at now I'm trying to generate enemies, Silas.
I just texted Jacob. Berlin, question mark?
Good. Let's see if he answers. So yeah, like
Probably
we said,
not.
Jacob was one of the first ever ELF champions. Speaking of the championship game, this year we had a very cool championship game, the 2023 ELF title game in Duisburg, Germany. Dude, that was an awesome, awesome day, an awesome showing for the league.
I wish I could have gone. I missed it.
Next year, man.
I'll have to go next year.
Yeah, you got to go next year. Next year, it's going to be an even bigger stadium. I like the many tickets. I don't know the exact percentage of tickets, but like a huge percentage of tickets are already sold. And it could be a 50,000 person event. I mean, it's really, really a cool thing. So we have actually got an insight into the new exclusive Beyond the Huddle documentary. So I think right now we are going to take a look at a little bit of this episode, which covers the championship game. Chat, we are gonna watch this here with you guys for the first time.
Gute Stimmung, 32.000 Zuschauer sagt natürlich viel aus. Und es ist Werbung für die ELF in Deutschland.
Wo bei mir tatsächlich der Gänsehautmoment entstanden ist, ist so sagen wir mal 5 Minuten nach dem Spiel. Und ich habe schon das ein oder andere an Sportveranstaltungen gesehen. Wenn das Spiel vorbei ist und geht zur Siegerehrung, wenn die Siegerehrung anfängt nach der Werbung, hast du es meistens so, dass vielleicht noch 30% der Leute im Stadion sind, der Rest ist weg. Unser Stadion war auch noch 10 Minuten nach Abpfiff bis auf den letzten Platz besetzt und die Leute haben irgendwann angefangen zu singen, so ein Tag so wunderschön wie heute. Und da muss ich zugeben, da war Gänsehaut da, das war vielleicht so mein Moment.
Also es war eine super Stimmung. Ich glaube, das hat man auch echt gemerkt. Und ich hoffe, die Spieler haben es auch gemerkt. Das ist alles rübergekommen. Also ganz toll.
Und da waren wir auch beim Fan-Huddle und haben das hier so mit den Live-Bands und mit den ganzen Merchandise-Produkten, den ganzen Food-Trucks. Das war sehr, sehr cool. Und ja, macht auf jeden Fall Vorfreude auf die nächste Saison. Football ist Family und es ist egal, ob Ryan Fires, Stuttgart Surge, Galaxy oder die NFL-Teams. Alle sind willkommen. Es ist egal, welche Farbe man trägt.
Und jetzt wollten wir noch gucken, wo die Spieler rauskommen.
Ich freue mich auf die neue Saison.
Whoa.
Ich freue mich auf die neue Saison.
Gutes Deutsch. Silas, you're a football player and a filmmaker. What's your immediate reaction to that little snippet there?
It makes me want to come out of retirement. It really does. Like that game reminds me of college football, and it reminds me of playing under those crowds and that intensity like that. That's like the American football in America that I know. And, you know, I wish I could have played in that game, but it also just makes me be like, dude, if every game could get to that level at some point, that would be epic for Europe.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's you just see there the potential of this sport in Europe and this league in Europe. And for those of you guys, the documentary Beyond the Huddle is available. It's coming out week by week every Sunday on the Game Pass. That is the final episode covering the championship game, and that will be coming out right around Christmas, I believe. So you can check that out on the Game Pass. That's exclusively where you can see it. So yeah, that's there we see it right here. We've got the 6 episodes and the summaries of each one, what each one is about, and that's where you guys can see that and kind of get a nice inside look at the European League of Football. So that was the championship game, and in that weekend, it was not just the game. That was a whole weekend of information, whole weekend of activities and stuff going on surrounding the game. A very, very cool thing that the ELF put on.
Yeah. What was that like for you when you went? Because you went in person. Were you filming the whole time? Because I know you were with Stuttgart.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, yeah. So it was an incredible weekend. So I was pretty busy because I was doing video work for Stuttgart. I was also hosting the honor show, which happened on Saturday evening, which we'll talk about a little bit in a sec, I think. And then on Sunday, of course, was the game. And there was just fanfare and parties going on outside, different stages, different events, different games for fans. Like I was lucky enough in 2020 to go to Super Bowl weekend in Miami because my brother was on the 49ers practice squad. And so we got to get the whole, friends and family deal. And I'm not saying that this was the Super Bowl, but it was in that direction with the vibe and the energy that was going on in Duisburg that weekend. Everything that the league was putting on, all the stuff for fans, and dude, it was so cool. I'm so excited to go to it again next year. It was an incredible weekend.
What is poll? What is the poll? Oh,
the poll is, guys, in the chat. Vote right now. Let us know. Did you go to Championship Game 23? We've got these live statistics here. We'll see as you vote. We'll see which percentage of you guys were in attendance this past year. So you can vote right now if that works.
I'm gonna vote. Let's see here. Click open link in new tab.
Wow, our data is skewed. 100% of the people were not there. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Well, I'm having to put no right now. Vote. I voted.
How'd you vote? I got to vote. I was there. That's cool. Did you change?
Wait, hopefully the no is greater than the yes, because that means it's like how many more people can go next year.
that's the outstanding potential for the next year. And next year,
I mean, it was already sold out, so it's not like those people could go even if they wanted to. Sorry.
Dude, yeah. How cool is that they sold out 31,000 person stadium? It was high level football. Like it was, it felt like an NFL game, man. It was really, really cool experience for the fans. And it was damn near a Rhine Fire home game. It was so loud for the Rhine Fire.
Yeah, that was like, that's a whole different thing. I feel like that was rigged. That was set up. Everybody knew Rhine Fire was going to win. They're like, let's do the championship in Duisburg. I mean, if I was starting the league, I'd be like, yo, we want the best championship game. Give Rhine Fire the best team. Give them all the stuff. Make sure they win this junk so that it's a hype environment. Hey.
There we go.
Maybe.
ELF conspiracies coming out. Let us know.
That conspiracy out there. Look, I played against Rhine Fire there. So, yeah, it was a little unfair. Granted.
Yeah, how was that playing in that stadium, man?
It was actually really loud. I actually couldn't hear anything, and plus that we had these West Coast offensive plays that took 75 minutes just to call the play, and so it's like imagine like reading a paragraph when you're in the middle of a storm. That's what it sounded like. And then we got like 75 delay games.
That's a great metaphor there. But not only on that championship game weekend. So like I said, there's a few activities. There was the Viva Con Agua charity game, which raised, I believe, 10,000 euros to build wells. We had some superstars there like Kasim Edabali and Bjorn Werner, who headed up the teams. And it was just a cool event there at the stadium on Saturday of, some German and European celebrities and known people playing in this game and raising money for a good cause. And I think it's a great thing. The league is growing and has eyeballs. There we see the man Ike. He actually he switched mid-game from being a player to a ref. I don't know if that's legal. So it was a cool event for the league to put on, and something I think they'll be doing again next year. And then right after that game, there was the ELF honor show.
Wow.
Wow. Look at that guy right there. Wow. Look at that, Silas. Fighting the sweat. He's fighting the sweat right there.
You look like you lost weight.
Yeah. So
a lot of weight.
I did. That's actually, that suit was from like 7 years ago. And I didn't realize that it was way too big for me when I put it on that morning. So I was looking a little baggy pantsed. But there you go. See, very diplomatic. See, that's a big suit, man. Next year I'll have a better one. But it was really cool.
Can we get a suit
the honor show was really
for
cool.
Nick?
Can we get a suit sponsor? Yeah. So the guys came up on stage. We had assistant coach of the year, Andrew Weidinger, defensive rookie of the year, Timi Nuika. I cannot pronounce that very well. The linebacker for the Panthers. And we had like all of these. I won't go through all of the awards that were won, but it was capped off with the one and only Jadrian Clark, winning MVP of the league. You spent a little time with Jadrian when you guys played this year, didn't you, Silas? How was that hanging out with him?
Yeah, it was fun. We actually got breakfast after the game and just caught up for a couple hours. We similar experiences. We've known each other for quite some time, but I think that might have been the first time we actually met in person, even though we had known each other for 4 years. It was just great to see his perspective and hear how well they are doing things out there and all the potential. Like Jadrian is a dual citizen for Europe, so he can stay here he can stay in Europe as long as he wants, which is huge for the sport because he's going to be a football ambassador in Europe for decades to come, and he can do it legally, whereas I have to break my 90 days every 90 days.
Yeah, that's tough. That's having that dual passports is a great thing. I'm lucky enough to have that as well. So then we, that Saturday night was capped off with Jadrian winning the MVP, and then we've got Sunday on the weekends, And this started early in the morning, kind of all the fanfare and activities going on outside of the stadium, around the stadium. And like I said, there's like games, and yeah, here we go. We see some games for fans, and just to kind of participate and get in the football mode. So of course, a bunch of, food and drink, snacks and everything. And then there was a stage. Look at this crowd right here that you can see. You had guys up on stage. I got to go on that stage early on in the day before the crowd was kind of big. So, there's probably 20 people listening to my interview. But later in the day, you see here, it was packed when some of the guys like Patrick Izume were on the stage right there and just interacting with the fans. So then this was leading up into the game, and then kickoff in the afternoon was, as Pat McAfee would say, electric. Oh, that's a tough picture right there. That's a tough picture right there for my boy Mitch Fettig. Nice. Yeah, you would say that as an offensive guy, wouldn't you?
I love those pictures. I love them. It's beautiful.
I despise them. See, here's the thing, though, Silas. What do you think? So obviously this was a big play in the game. This was Glenn Tunga's incredible touchdown on the screen, kind of solidified the game. But what do you think? What do you think is worse as a defensive player, to get hurdled or to get trucked?
Hurdled, 100%.
Oh, really? Why? Defend your answer.
I mean, anybody can just run into somebody, and depending on if the defensive guy is like slipping or if he is off balance or he just got there at the wrong time, like getting trucked is a lot less embarrassing, because if you get hurdled, it means like your eyes were probably closed. Like you were afraid to get hit, and so you closed your eyes.
Dude,
like
I would 10 out of 10 times rather get hurdled than trucked. Because theoretically, you can get hurdled when you're having almost perfect tackling form. You get low, you got your head up, okay? So you can get hurdled by having perfect tackling form, but getting trucked is just demoralizing. That's the worst feeling in the world, trying to get up after that, trying to face your teammates and face the crowd. So I tried to console Mitch a little bit about that hurdle. I don't, anybody can get hurdled, man. It's all good.
Have I ever hurdled you? I think we might have some pictures. I think I might have.
You've done
pictures.
everything there is to do against me, bro. For those who don't know, guys, Silas and I played against each other for many years.
And yeah, for the record, I never
Silas
beat
made me look
him.
like a fool.
But I never beat you, though.
That is
we
true.
Never beat you.
That's true. But you did make me look.
But I have
silly.
I have all the best pictures against you. You just have all the wins and the championships.
There you go. It's kind of a trade-off.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah. So before that, though, there was a key play in the game, which was a forced fumble. And this was kind of a turning point in the game, I would say, where Surge were about to score. We're going to watch it right here, guys. Check this out. Riley Hennessy drops back. He finds his Austrian receiver, Yannick Meyer, right there. Boom. He's got it in the end zone. And he gets hawked from behind. And the fumble is forced, goes out the back of the end zone. It is a touchback. So what would have been a touchdown for the Surge and put him right within striking distance turned into the Rhein Fire getting the ball. That's a tough thing right there for the Surge, and it's kind of pulled away some of their momentum. Has anything like that ever happened to you, Silas? As you're about to score, you get you hawked and ball popped out?
Never. That's like honestly
you
the
don't
worst.
allow it.
No, it's not that I just fortunately, or maybe I've just never broken away from anybody before.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it. But I feel for him, because that's just honestly the worst thing that can ever happen to you as an offensive guy, especially in that situation in championship. Thankfully, it doesn't define him, Yannick. If you're watching, this doesn't define you, then you're going to come back better than ever. And I promise you this, Yannick will never fumble the ball ever again like that in his life.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, obviously like a learning experience there. And I was on the Surge sideline for that moment. And, from the outside perspective, this would look like a situation where a team would really become kind of deflated and be like, damn, we're about to score. What the hell, man? This sucks. everyone remained totally positive. Riley Hennessy, the quarterback, right after that, went up to Yannick and said, "Hey, I'm coming right back to you, man. I'm coming right back to you. It's all good. We're going to go. We're going to do it again." And so that's something that I really admired about the Surge's kind of team camaraderie and attitude. And that stems all the way down from Jordan Newman, Johnny Brenner, Cody Pastorino, those coaches that
Right.
have set this culture of positivity. And no, I think that was an admirable moment on the Surge sideline at the same time. And then the game kind of plays out like it does. The Rhein Fire end up winning here. We're going to take a look, I think, right now at Glenn Tunga's hurdle. Mitch, I'm sorry, man. I don't have control over this. They're making me show it to you.
Dang, man. You're putting on blast, man. I think we need to skip forward. Where are we at here in this time of the show?
Effort chat. Yeah, 100% teach tape. Too caught up on the championship game. Yeah, there it is. So we've got the championship game 2024 set as well. It'll take place at Veltins Arena. 30% of tickets are already sold. That's pretty crazy. It's damn near a year away. What is it? 10 months away. 30% of tickets already sold. Capacity is over 54,000 attendees. And it'll be kind of like the same environment as last year. They'll have all these festivities going on. Everything is a real, not only as a championship football game, but it's a celebration of this league and of football in Europe growing. And I got to say, guys, if you have the opportunity to go to that championship game weekend or go to the game, go. It's such a cool experience. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait for next year. Silas, they want to see what are our predictions. Who do you think is going to be in the 2024 championship game? Look at these.
I mean, I think Rhein Fire's back in it. I don't see them not going back. I don't see them losing a bunch of people. The guards, baby. Nah. Honestly, I'll keep it real. I'll keep it real. Even though that's my team, I don't see the guards going to the championship next year. They got to build off a lot. But I do see I see the Vikings and the Surge, and I also see Paris back in the mix. So I would say one of those four. If I had to pick two, I'll say
okay.
If I have to pick two, I'll go Fire and the Vikings.
Okay. Let's see what chat's saying. Chat's saying Surge, Vienna. We've got a Galaxy, of course. Someone said Paris and Vikings. Vikings or Fire already lost several players. More will follow. Well, we'll see how that goes. You know, the kind of the floodgates open. Once people win a championship, you know, they get that ring. Some guys want to go off then and get a different experience. So that could happen to the Fire. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of that. Someone says Vienna, the Rhein Fire. Someone asks, hey, Nalf, give us a little insight. Who will be the Surge quarterback in 2024? What a good question. I do have a little bit of insight and intel, but I'm sworn to secrecy. Jordan Newman would excommunicate me from the Surge inside, so I can't say anything yet, but hold off on that. Some people say Panthers. My prediction, I'm going Surge and Paris in the championship game next year. Jordan Newman versus Mark Mattioli. I like both of these franchises. I think they're trending in the right direction. And so we'll see. A nice little, it'd be cool also to have two different countries playing against each other in the championship game.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Okay. So that's what we've got here. Let's see what else. Yeah, there. Yep. Great. And we have actually, we've got a little bit of breaking news I'm getting right now from our producer, Maxie. We've been hearing some rumors about a player, and I think we've actually got a video message from this player. So let's see what we got here for this breaking news on the ELF Live.
Hey guys, I'll make it quick. The rumors are true. I will be joining the Vienna Vikings next season, and I'm really excited for the upcoming year, and I expect great things from this team. Thank you.
Jan Philipp Bombeck going to
Bombeck.
Vienna. Bombeck going to Vienna to the Vikings. This is going to be his fourth team that he's played for in 4 years. He's been a part of the ELF every year since its first year. And let's see, he played in 2021 for the Sea Devils, 22 for the Kings last year. Oh, again for the Sea Devils. Sorry, not his fourth team. Sorry.
4 changes or 3 changes.
Third team, and now save me, Silas. Don't it's off, and there it is. 4 changes. Guy also has college football experience in the States, Feather River College and Colorado State. I always think that's great when some of these European guys go get that college experience and come back and bring that to a team. What are your thoughts on that, Silas? You've played with a bunch of guys and probably some who had college experience.
Well, yeah, it's night and day difference. Guys who go over to America and play college. I mean, it's like basically training camp. If you had a training camp in Europe for 3 weeks before the season, going to play college is like training camp for the entire season. And so you basically get you get like 5, 6, 7 years worth of European football training in 1 year in the States. And it really just jumps that level, your skill level, and you just get fed so much and you work out so much more. So you can gain a lot of weight and get a lot stronger and faster.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, it's just so good to also, like, obviously the Americans bring college football experience, but I always think it's so good when some of the European guys have that as well. It just kind of brings and implements a whole nother level of expertise and professionalism to the teams that they're on. So, you know, he's a guy that's had a lot of success in the ELF, a big name, going to Vienna. People in the chat saying, geez, Hamburg is falling apart. Vikings getting even stronger. Sorry, Maxie, about that. I know it's your hometown team. Yeah, that's a pretty big signing right there. And kind of exciting stuff, man. A lot exciting stuff going on throughout the league with all this stuff. New news breaking every single day. And he's one of, obviously one of the best defensive ends in the league. So it's a huge get for the Vikings. Let's check out here. Let's see. We got a little bit of tape on him.
I never played against him, so I can't speak from experience, but I've heard a lot. And his name is Bombeck. That just sounds
Bombeck. Yeah, I mean, I know we're butchering the pronunciation. That's the American, that's the problem when you have two American hosts who are incapable of pronouncing names correctly. But we try our best. Bombeck. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. I love that football is growing here in Germany and Europe. I'm still excited to find and track all my guys from Oregon, though. How many are in the ELF now? How many guys in Oregon are in the ELF? I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'd be curious to see which state in America has the most ELF players playing over there.
Yeah, that's a great thought. I know it's the most. It's
probably like Texas.
Division III. Well, I would say it's probably Division III schools, so that's like probably more Midwest, because they tend to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's more Division III schools
like in the Midwest.
Yeah. So we're getting to the end here, guys, of the first show. Feel free, go ahead and put in the chat any of your thoughts right now or any final things you'd like to see us chat about here for these final couple minutes. And while you guys are doing that, Silas, what are you feeling for the ELF this year, man? How are you feeling about everything?
I'm excited for it, man, and I'm excited to do this show with you because we never talk outside of the show. And it's actually taken us putting on an entire show about the European League of Football for me and Nick to actually talk. We text back and forth once every 6 months saying, hey, we should talk at this time, and then we don't talk. And so this would be a great time. I can just talk to you, and I'm not going to talk to you after this show. That's it. This is the only time we're going to ever talk, and it'll be on this live show. So
Yeah,
I'm really excited about that. And
yeah, man, our entire friendship is based on this show. Okay, we only communicate and catch up on camera here, live in front of you guys. Let's see, and it's well, we got a couple things in the chat here. Where do you think the league will be expanding to next? Ooh, interesting.
England.
Silas, what do you think about that?
London.
England. I like
Put
that.
a team in London.
I like that. I like that a lot. Someone just said it has to be London, Amsterdam, and Stockholm, I think. Yeah.
London first.
I mean,
we already have NFL games in London, and it's been going on for like 5 years.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's the thing. That's what's so cool. It's like we see the demand. We see the growth of the game. And even since we've been out here, we've been out in Europe since 2016, being a part of football in Germany and Europe. And we've seen it just kind of trending upward, and the ELF coming in here in 2021 and capturing all of this potential and giving the fans of American football in Europe a product that they can be excited about, a place for players to really get on a track to be professional football players. I mean, it's pretty cool. Some of these stories of some guys, for example, I think of a guy like Goran Zek from Serbia, who got to come and play, be a professional in Poland, and then come be a real full-time professional for the Surge last year. And kind of the direction and potential of this league is super exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it has its problems. Like, dude, getting a league together is like one of the hardest things ever, and I've been out here long enough to know that every single league and every single team has a bunch of problems. And like the ELF is going to be no different, trying to start this with all these different countries. But for the most part, what they've done and what I hope for them is all the success in the world, because ultimately it is shining lights on these players' stories who love this sport from a pure place, from their heart, and they just like want to have the opportunity. So if the ELF can continue to create opportunities for players in Europe to love the game and grow the game, then I'm all for it.
Absolutely, man. And it's just, it's a young league already taken off and showing such a great start and doing so many great things for the sport. We saw it, with the championship game last year, the showing the potential of this sport and this league. Super excited for where it's headed. Guys, thanks a lot for joining us. This is our first ever ELF live show. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you being in the chat here and kind of participating along with us, and being fans of the European League of Football. This community relies on all of us to help it grow and to keep getting eyes on this great sport and this great league. So we appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, make sure to comment things that you don't like about Nick and what he does and his facial hair. Anything that you see.
The host, we need feedback, so feel free to give it to us. Tell Silas all of his flaws so we can improve for next time, guys.
There are a lot of them.
All right.
There are a lot of them.
There we go. All right, guys, thanks a lot for joining us for the first ever ELF live show. We will see you again, same time next week. Bye-bye.